afternoon, everybody. Okay. Afternoon, Ted and Snelia. Marcus. So, I decided that I was not going to do conscious coffee with coffee. Instead, you get conscious water. It's the afternoon. The cicadas are definitely having some noise, making fun in the trees around here. So that's background noise. You know, they always remind me. I feel like I'm in that. The sound that they make reminds me of. Oh my gosh! Now I just lost the name of the movie, the dinosaur movie. You know, where somebody help me out here. Come on. Where? All right. Yep. It doesn't much matter because I can't think of the name of the movie, but it feels like I'm in the jungle and that dinosaurs are going to pop out anytime. Because it reminds me of this one noise from the old, hey Addison, what's the name of the dinosaur movie? Oh. It's horrible. I hate that when that happens. You know, it's like it's unimportant information and then you can't think about it, you can't remember it, and it doesn't really mean anything anyway. Hey Mackenzie. I guess doesn't matter. But anyways, yeah, the cicadas, they make this noise, and I just think about dinosaur movies for some reason. I don't know what that has to do with anything. But, you know. Hey, Tanya. So, I'll probably think about it, and I'll just be like, it's this. Yeah. So today, Addison, you know help. No help. Come on. You were like 3 years old. No, just kidding. So, it's interesting. The last couple days, I would say that I'm going to use the word attack, but it's not really an attack. It's an awareness of what, of just how uncomfortable people are with the feminine. And I just got done this afternoon. I've been working all day off and on the article that I put out today about, you know, never lowering your head to those that speak evil and want to make docile your radiant, beautiful truth, your sensual feminine. And I think that as women, you know, we have all of this stuff that's going on in our world where there's all this focus on feminine power right now, but it's coming into play in a very masculine fashion. So the feminine dancing in the masculine and trying to take back some sort of power or teach a lesson using masculine energy to do it. And that's not just becoming of us, ladies. It's not, you know, two wrongs do not make a right. And when we step strong into that masculine energy of control and just the way it is, you know, of the masculine, it really is, it's more like dog eat dog energy. We don't do ourselves any positive good there, and we certainly are not teaching the world anything positive or our children or anything. But I have noticed that, you know, so there's all this victimizing going on, there's a lot of fear going on that is being set in, there's arguments on abortions, on human rights in different ways, on different sexual practices, you know, sexual abuse, all this different stuff. And one aspect is like we have this polar, very, very separated ideas. And on one side, there is this concept that, you know, women are sexual tools and can be used and abused in this fashion, and that is okay, and that we women should not have still today rights in our voice and our speech in what happens to our bodies, and, you know, if we choose to be mothers or to not be mothers, if, you know, what our sexual preferences might be, our desires, our fantasies, then none of that is okay. And then on the other, and this is coming from the masculine and the feminine, from men and from women, and there's like this, and at the same time, then we have over here this aspect where it's kind of like, well, women are being really harsh and cold and acting like this and pointing out that, you know, well, the men are being aggressive and men are being controlling and men are, you know, doing all of this stuff. So it's like, it's okay. And then we got the masculine over here, and it really is the masculine on both sides trying to control the situation. And that energy of saying, well, no, we're going to damn men and we're going to just point our fingers out and make that all men are wrong here and all men are trying to be abusers and victimize women, that's not doing any, that's actually still giving away of power. Like us trying, the women that are operating in that, ladies, you're actually still giving your power away by trying to be so aggressive and masculine in that taking back of power. You know, to destroy the man's power does not make us more powerful. It is a beautiful balance that the divine has set for us, where it's masculine and feminine. I always come back to the yin yang symbol, and that it is a true depiction of masculine and feminine, and every feminine has a drop of masculine, and every masculine has a drop of feminine. And what that is that we need that to really harmonize ourselves. So, you know, the feminine is flowy and creative and nurturing and life expressing, and all is beauty, right? It is this flowy, beautiful. I always refer, when I think of the feminine, I think of dance. I think of fluid movement. I think of water. I think of, you know, like just nature in operation, but really truly like this dance that the feminine has. And that is that fluid, sensual expression. Where the masculine, I always think of as more the shoreline, you know, the rigidness, the strength of the stone that the waves wash up against in the water, the standing leadership point on the dance floor. It is typically the man, the masculine, that is the lead, that will allow, that helps the woman, the feminine, to flow properly with grace and ease out there and in certain directions. But she always can come back to that strength point, right? It is not that she needs that, but that together they complement each other and they create a beautiful dance. In our world, we feel that both of those are wrong. We have trained a society where it's not okay for the feminine to twirl and dance and act in the feminine. That feminine nature is either perceived as evil and sinful, manipulative, crazy, only aiming to try to gain power through the sensual, through the sex, through the something in that fashion, that it is wrong, or to be used and abused because it is weak. And I can tell you, women are far from weak. You know, physically, mentally, or emotionally, women are far from weak. It is also then viewed that the masculine, you know, is this taker, this controller, this boss mentality and of an ownership. And it's almost, it's almost like we're rolling back to the 1800s where women were property and there was slaves and there was, everything was about the man having the ownership of the land and of the human bodies, and everything was owned by him and could be traded and sold as he saw and used as he saw fit. Well, we have that, and then what? Then we have the feminine that is trying to basically squash that out by doing it back to. It's really truly a raping of the culture by the culture itself, and every piece of it is trying to penetrate the other and force itself on the other in this very vicious, very negatively fierce fashion, instead of coming at it from the divine energies that it is. So, not to make this a preachy thing on what's going on in our world and our governments in any of that fashion, but it has been, and anybody who's been following me on here, I'm sure that you have noticed some of the heat that I have been taking just for being me. You know, everywhere from getting told, on my blog, somebody went in and wrote some really untasteful things, from calling me horrific names to, just like a vicious statements. On Facebook here, I've had numerous people either privately message me stuff or expressively state expressions of disgust about things and call me out as being a prostitute, as being a whore, as being a slut, as trying to manipulate and use sexual energy to do nothing more than to go after the dollar, and completely bypassing all of the shares and messaging and you know, I hope that those who are truly in my tribe can feel my love and an authentic approach that I try to bring to the table consistently. I let you guys see me, you know, at all hours of the day, experience different hardships and beauties, and just pretty much just share very real. Do I use Facebook for my business messaging? Do I do promotions? Yeah, I'm an online marketer and I am a coach, and this is my main means of advertisement and connection. But I advertise and connect through authentic relating and allowing myself to be seen. So I don't want you to ever, like, if you were to work one-on-one and work into my office, you're going to get that exact same person that you see do a live stream, that you read, you know, articles with, that is showing pictures of children, of travel, of food, goofiness, mishaps, ego, love, everything. And those vicious, mean, cruel statements, they are all that. They can be extremely poisonous if you choose to take those kind of statements as your truth. And I want that's really truly where that reality of, like, don't swallow somebody else's poison, right? Just because they offer it to you doesn't mean that you have to take it. The moods of the feminine is that sometimes we will be swallowing poison, and we will be spewing it out, and we can be extremely hateful and vindictive and manipulative and wild and crazy and playful and sexy and turned on and sad and depressed and dark and joyous and happy and full of compassion and mothering compassion and, you know, that nurturing and just that connection, and open and expansive and completely shut down. And we can do all of that in probably about 30 minutes or less on some days. But the moods of the feminine does not mean that we are ever, any one of us, trying to be any one particular way, right? And this perception that comes about, like what I've been getting, just because I post a picture of me in a white dress, that doesn't mean I'm trying to manipulate somebody, you know? It's just a picture of me in a white dress. Addison took it. We were just walking along the beach. I took some pictures of her. She took some pictures of me. Never did we sit there and go, oh, this is our devious plan to manipulate the men of the world with this beautiful dress. Oh, yes, this is what we're going to say. Yeah, no, we didn't do that. That was not even a thought. We were just connecting to creative energy. And yes, I just went into total voice there. Women are not always evil. Sensual, feminine is far from evil. Sex is not evil. Can it be used for evil? Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. It can definitely be used for evil. When it is thought of in an evil fashion, when it is thought of as a form of control. But in general, I believe that the true nature of the divine feminine in this aspect, and for women who try to do the work around their divine feminine and the forgiveness work of themselves and the release of shame and guilt and trauma, so that they can fully embrace their power and be a strong woman, not in the masculine sense, but just a strong woman as showing up as that feminine that they are, whatever that is unique to self. Those women have 99.999% of the time no manipulative, vindictive concept going on in their head. They're not sitting there, and like Addison said, like Pinky, wanting to take over the world. No, it's not wanting to take over the world as far as like letting that light shine. No matter what faith we fall underneath, it's told to us to be the light, to follow the light, and to let ourselves shine, that shining of our light, ladies, that is often perceived as malicious. It's often perceived as manipulative. It's often perceived as controlling. It's perceived as whorish. It's perceived as, it's going to take the hit of persecution in so many different ways. And the masculine that is wanting to create that line in the sand and control that and shut it down. And the masculine, when I say the masculine, I am not saying men. I am saying the masculine and the negative egoic side of the masculine, which women have and men have. Okay, so I want to be very clear on that I am not saying that men are doing this, because I get just as much flack and I've seen just as much pain, and I work with so many women around the trauma that they have experienced in relationship with other women, and that they take this kind of negative response from women when they open up and reveal their light. Those who are so scared of their own light, who are so insecure of their own sexuality, their own creative power, their own, beauty, their own strength, their own wisdom, when people get scared of that level of themselves and revealing their truth, what they do is that anybody, male or female, that reveals light, that reveals creative energy, that steps into authenticity and integrity, they want to put them out. They put that light out. Just put that out. And we recognize it in our history. We recognize it in our spiritual teachings, that some of the great wise, masters of all time had their light put out in the physical sense because they were shining, because they were bright, because they tapped into creation. They tapped into their power, into their integrity, and their authenticity. We live in a world that, as much as we want to feel truth, as much as we want to express truth, and we say, oh, what do I respect the most? I respect truth. I respect honesty. Bull. Most people do not. The people who make truth and honesty like that forefront of everything, like I would not. That's the most important thing to me. It is the most important thing, but when you're faced with true authenticity and truth, you have to say, is it the truth that I want to hear, or is it the truth that is just really honestly the truth? Because if you're not willing to hear somebody else's authentic statements, authentic revealing of themselves, and you go, no, you're lying, no, that's not accurate, no, that's not that, then you're not really ready to hear the truth, because one person's truth is not another person's truth. One person's integrity is not another person's integrity. There is this fine line. It is all how we perceive anything. There's so many things, and a lot of the things I've been sharing on Conscious Coffee has been that there's one coin and there's two sides of the coin, right? So, it just really comes down to that. But passion is one of those things. Truth is one of those things. There is hardcore truth that, if I drop my glass of water, that it's going to fall and it's going to shatter, and I'm not going to have a glass of water anymore. The glass will be broken. That's called gravity. That's like basic truth, right? We understand that. That's called gravity. There's the truth in that if I do this, there is going to be this reaction to it, this effect to it, right? Cause and effect. But then there is the truth of presentation of self, who you are, what your message is, what your beliefs are, how you should choose to be. Do you allow somebody else to, speak your truth for you and live according to their ways? Or do you actually speak your own truth? Can you as a person handle somebody else speaking their truth? Or do you want them to only have the truth that you feel comfortable with, that you feel strong in, that you feel good in? It's the whole thing of, every church is the one and true way. Really? Really? I'm not going to get off on churchy stuff there. But, every church does believe that they are the one true path. And how many different faiths do we have all leading home? That's really what it is. You can have your truth. You can have your path. It's not going to be right for every other person on the planet. It's about what is at that baseline. Can you honor, can you respect truth of another? Can you honor, can you respect your truth? Can you reveal that? And however that might come about. And guess what? Sometimes this thing called integrity and authenticity is not always pretty. It's not always perfect. It's not always going to people please everybody. It's not going to make everybody just like go, oh man, I just really love her. She's just the sweetest person. The sweetest person is also probably the unhappiest person, because they are so caught up in trying to make it always right for everybody else that they forgot themselves somewhere along the way. They're trying to people please because that's where their worth is coming from, and they don't have that worth for self. They don't have that love for self, and they're just giving. It's not mean that that person is the sweetest person in the world. That person's actually the cruelest person in the world, because they're disrespecting themselves at that deep level, and somewhere along the line, that's just not going to be healthy for probably more than just themselves. And it's going to ripple out. It does have an effect. Everything has an effect. So as ladies, here's the I'm just going to tell you about feminine truth, okay? Feminine truth, and I'm going to speak for all of us ladies here, because I'm kind of irritated with the masculine today. I've been called a bitch. I've been called a lover. I've been told I was sweet. I've been told that I lied about things. I've been called a whore today. I've been called quite a few things in the last 24 hours. And I'm all of them. And I feel like I should play this song, right? I'm a bitch, I'm a lover, I'm a child, I'm a mother, I'm a sinner, I'm a saint. I'm a goddess on my knees. Yeah, that song. And you know what? That song is one of the most accurate songs of the feminine. And that song is one of the most accurate songs of a woman that is truly in her feminine and embracing the different emotions. And the masculine that can handle that can step into that fire and hold that position and not be wavered, that's a strong masculine. That's a masculine that can take that kind of heat and doesn't think that he's necessarily responsible for, the ebb and the flow of the feminine, because the feminine is that wave in the ocean. It can be the wave, it can be the still quiet pool, it can be the beautiful crystal waters of the Mediterranean, it can be the rocky waves of a terrific storm that's taking, that's tipping large sea-bearing boats and everything. It can be a tsunami. That is the feminine. And there's not any reason other than the ebbs and the flows of the emotion and the pushing of the masculine. Will you stand present for me? Will you still love me? Can you be strong enough in yourself and in your purpose to hold true to your course and not let me push you off, and you not belittle, control, dampen my light in the doing? Because if you can breathe into that feminine, what you get is you get beautiful creative energy. You get beautiful motherhood that will pour out in so many different ways. And I'm not talking about just giving birth to a baby, ladies. I mean, yes, there's the motherhood of giving birth to a baby. There's the motherhood of touching other children in the world in different impactful ways. There's creation with our work. There's creation with creating a home. There's creation with creating beautiful artistic pieces. The dance, the art, the sculpting, the poetry, the writing, all of this different stuff. It's all part of the feminine. Sometimes the masculine has it going on in the feminine. There's so many beautiful masculine out there who have this beautiful creation mode that comes through them, which is considered like that divine feminine that just is like that muse energy, right? Well, we don't necessarily have to have a reason for our bitchiness, for our passion, for our turn on, for our love, for our depression. Sometimes it's just moving through us. The strong feminine, the woman who is in tap with that, she understands that, and she doesn't attach to any of it. She lets it move through her. Just like the music moves through you when you're on the dance floor, so does the moods of the feminine in the life of that woman. And it is just that music. What kind of song is playing for her? Who knows? those moods kind of just goes all over the place, right, ladies? It does. It moves through us. But there's power in every single one of those moods. There's lessons in every single one of those moods. There's reasons for every single one of those moods. It's either to teach us, to open us up, to help protect us, or to open, heal, guide, nurture, love, show compassion, show creation, create with or for somebody else. I know that I kind of rambled. I still have not thought of what the heck the name of the movie is with the dinosaurs. But they haven't stopped yet. I guess I'm just a little bit perturbed at the responses from a lot of men out there. I've done a lot of work on clearing out my Facebook over the last year for sure, to clear out some of the garbage comments that can come up. And then when I see people who try to be perceived as something that they are not, still spewing their poison, I go, oof, you could have just sent me a dick pic, because it would have done about the same thing, because it speaks about the same volumes. It's about that same level of understanding of the feminine. We don't want it. We don't want that kind of vicious, nasty connection, whether it is coming through beautiful poetic words, highly educated minds, or very undereducated, needy undesirables from who knows where. We really just don't need it. It's not supportive of a healthy, loving world. It's not supportive of the masculine. It is not honoring of the masculine. It is not honoring of the feminine. It's just disgusting. And yeah. And as disgusting as our female moods can be, at least they were designed by God to be that way. And the masculine, who is the strong masculine, understands that, can hold it, and can be that guiding force to the feminine. Okay, guys, I have to jump on, speaking of which, and help a nice, beautiful group of ladies get their questions met from a course I taught a couple weeks ago, where we were learning about manifesting the soulmate of our life, the man of our life, that conscious lover who is learning how to stand in the feminine energy and feminine fire. So I'm off to go do that. If you are interested in connecting with me in any other way, feel free to message me here. Feel free to connect with me at www.kendalwilliams.com. If you're interested in anything that I might have going on, there is my programs page on my website. But I want you ladies to know that I am doing, it's a little over a week from now, I have Unstoppable Power. It's My Time to Fly, which is 12 weeks of intense work on really truly claiming that beautiful, sensual feminine, the power that should be underneath your wings in every area of your life, not just your bedroom, but in your finances, as a mother, as a grandmother, as a friend, as a sister, as a daughter. This power is yours. And I'm teaching you some of the most foundational and expansive ideas around that. So feel free to click on that link in the comments section. To everybody else who I did not get a chance to say hello to. Hello. Hello, Dave. Hello, Derek. Hello, Megan. Ray, Peter, Kim. Oh, hey, Kim. Didn't see you on there. Megan. And Tanya. I think I said hi to Tanya. Ladies, know that you deserve more. You are worthy. Guys, you are worthy too. You deserve a strong, beautiful feminine. You just deserve to be in your strong, amazing masculine. And none of us are unworthy of love or embracing our true, authentic selves. As always, stop existing, start living. You can follow me at www.kendalwilliams.com, and I will be back on here sometime tomorrow. I don't know. It's Sunday, so who knows. Enjoy your afternoon, everybody. Love you.